Good afternoon guys, welcome to another video. Catch up with me today down this little section of the Avon here. I've come out today because the river looks absolutely bang on. I've been monitoring the Avon near home, which is much further downstream than this, but I've been monitoring the Avon near home and the water temperature's been 2.5, 3 degrees for days and days. It's been really cold. If you remember back, you'll remember it was really cold. We had snow. Well, overnight all the snow melted. That's all gone in the river, which would normally be a really bad thing. However, it's like 13 or so degrees today. The water temperature's up a couple of degrees, 2.5 degrees. So I'm just hoping that spurs the fishing to action. It's much milder today, as I say, and as you can see from what I'm wearing, but it is blowing an absolute gale, and it's going to be for days. We've got a couple of days of sunshine coming, which is what prompted me to come out today. And I really did fancy doing a bit of trotting. It looks really good for a bit of trotting. It's about a foot and a half of visibility, which is perfect. Perfect for a little river like this. So I've got my trotting gear with me. Got my Dower Tournament Pro there, coupled with my Dower 125M closed face reel there, which is got second hand off eBay. Sorted it out. It was a bit rough, but I've given it a bit of a service, and it's equipping itself very well these days. It's fantastic to use. So that's the plan. 15-foot rod. I'm going to run a float round. We'll do perhaps 2 or 3 swims. I'm not really planning a roving section as such, but I am planning on doing a few swims, if you like, if that's not a contradiction. But normally, sort of sit or stand down here in this swim, and as you can see, it's well up, but it's just a nice height. It's a nice height. I do keep a track of the local gauge, river height gauge, and done all right with it at this level. I had a nice hit of fish here a while back, and also caught a lovely one around there, 5-pound chub last winter around there. So we'll perhaps have a go here for a bit. We won't run too far around because of all the snags on the other side, and then we'll perhaps have a little go up there. But I've really come to this stretch as well because it's out of the wind a little bit. We've got a chance of doing some trotting because the Avon by home, which looks equally cracking, not a chance in the world. You'd struggle to quiver it, to be honest, with your rod in the air because it's absolutely blowing. We've got 30, 40 mile an hour winds today. Anyway, that's enough waffle. Let's get out here and have a go. Just quickly running through the bait. Mashed bread. I've got a bucket there with some mashed bread in it and some bread for the hook, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Right, let's get cracking. Just going to get some of this mashed bread in. Just been trickling it in for the last few minutes. We'll keep trickling it in. See how we get on. 2 or 3 swims we'll be able to have a go at in these conditions. As I say, out the wind. I have bought a ledger rod with me just in case, but I really would like to run the float through. Really, that'd be a perfect scenario. Right, cool. Water's still cold. 5 degrees is still cold water. We'll keep this messy stuff going in. But I'm thinking today, I want to get ahead of myself, but I'm thinking today not only should we catch a few, we might even have a little bit of a hit of fish today. But you never know. It is fishing after all. And it would be nice to get some on the float, as I say, but we may have to get on the ledger. We'll just see. I think we'll know before too long. But at least we can actually trot here because of the wind. It's just been, most places are just unfishable, to be honest. It's going through lovely. Now, maybe that the fish are wanting to be in the slacks a little bit. A bit of a slack over there. It's a little bit higher than I'd have liked it in here. It's generally a nice swim to fish when it's just the sort of the river is just lapping the bank here. We're probably about 6 inches too deep, really. It's a little bit turbulent in this swim as well, but we'll have a go. We'll give it half an hour in here, and then we'll perhaps have a move. Some of the swims we can try. God, I don't know if you can hear this wind. It's absolutely howling. Oof. Well, perhaps that was a bite then. It seemed a little bit like a bite. Very awkward here under this tree, but I think it's our best shot. This and a couple of other swims. Just doing any trotting certainly, because it is so windy. Yeah, it seemed like a bit of a bite, and there's that slack over there, which is the sort of place you might expect to find them in this particular swim. Just over there. And just hold that float back, and it just a bit of a back eddy on the other side, and it's quite often it pulls round into there. Sure, that's a bite. Yes, it is. Oh, I've got to stop them getting in there. That's what I thought in that bit of slack. I think it's a monster, but it's a fish. Well, I can't actually move it at the moment. Going to be a bit careful because I've got 2.5 pound bottom on, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful. Certainly not beasting me. This is so awkward here. This long rod, it's wonderful for presentation, but makes playing fish very awkward under this tree. He's got out in that flow, and blimey. I don't think it's even very big. What a scrap. Warm weather certainly warmed him up. The line's singing away. I don't know if you can hear it. The line is singing away in the in the wind. Just trying to keep my rod down quite low. God blimey. What a scrap. As I say, it doesn't feel like there's too much weight to him. But who knows, there's some big old chub in here. Got a decent bend in this rod. Not even seen it yet. Staying very low. There he is. Well, he's not a bad one. I say no monster, but must have crouched down here. Got leaves all over his face. Oh, that's a nice fish. Got him. Wonderful. Fantastic. Well, that's a cracking way to start. Not a bad fish at all. Been in the wars by the looks of it. Have a quick look at him over the net. There we are. As I say, it's been in the water a little bit, but that's a good start, isn't it? Cracking. Wonderful. Well, that's absolutely cracking. Hopefully we can, as I say, we can have a few more out before we go for a bit of a wander. Got him down here. He's up in that big net. He's dangled him just over the edge, so he's actually in the river. Wonderful. Thought the previous cast, I thought I'd had a bite over there. It's just a bit of a back eddy, a bit of a slack. I do seem to like hanging over there. Just at the main flow. In the summer, sometimes when it's really low and clear, you can see them over there. They don't mind getting over there, even then it's very low. And the advantage of having very little visibility in the water is that hopefully his mates don't know what's going on. Just going to hold that back again and try and just get it to drag into that back eddy. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. That's it. There we go. There we go. Same place again. Just got it to run round into that back eddy. And wonderfully, when I'm hooking them, they're not trying to get in that cover for some reason. Getting out in the flow. This doesn't feel very big at all unless it's swimming towards me. Which it is. I'm getting the edge now. I've got to be careful where I stand. God, I put up a scrap in this flow. So this one's determined to get in by my feet. Being a chub, of course. Another advantage of having a decent length rod. You can stop them getting under your feet. That was another nice fish, actually. Oh, it might even be a bit bigger than the last one. Perhaps he was swimming towards me. He's about the same size. Looks like they're stacked up in that slack over there, as suspected. No, he popped up quicker than I thought he was going to. Wonderful. Just in the top lip. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's about that. Wonderful. That's cracking. Oh, I love it when you work out the conditions and you've been making notes and trying to find exactly the perfect conditions and you get it bob on. Wonderful. That's fab. Again, that slack over there. The river, you can probably see, it runs through and obviously around that bend. But on the inside of that bend, there's just a back eddy. And they all seem to be sat in there. There is another one just round here as well, which I might try in a minute. But they do seem to be sat over there. Just to get themselves out of that fast current. I'm not sure how much of this mashed bread's getting over there, so we'll throw a bit in. Well, guys, there we go. It was 2.6 yesterday, so it's gone up a lot, 3 degrees. When will I see you again? I had a feeling it might be quite good today. So I brought quite a lot of mashed bread with me. I've got half a loaf with me for on the hook. I've mashed up 2 loaves of Neville's for feed. I've also got one loaf of each in the car as well, in case I need them. There we go. God, I was a bit more out in the flow that time. Oh, this is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Oh, loving it. Let's feel another reasonable fish. It's a bit more jaggy and a bit more head shaky, so it might be a bit smaller. I think perhaps it is a little bit smaller. Yeah, it is a little bit smaller. Yeah, he's given up. Come on, chap. We'll pick you out and get my hand around you, definitely. Got him. There we go. Wonderful. It'd feel like a slightly smaller fish. Very jaggy sort of fight. That's great. That's a hat trick. Well, we've not had a bite for 10 or 15 minutes. So I think I might give it a little bit longer, and then perhaps we'll have a bit of a move. Do fancy giving it 10 or 15 minutes just a bit further down from this swim as well. It's where the water sort of steadies after all this turbulence. It goes a bit steadier a bit further down. Alright, that was a bit of a pluck. Yeah, there we go. So the cutter goes at that. Well, perhaps we won't go just yet. Feels a decent fish. It's taking line. It's got in the flow again. And he's off. A bit back. Was I talking about moving? Yeah, this feels a decent fish actually. Got a bit of weight to him. And he's just sort of sitting there. This water is really belting through, so I can't put too much pressure on him. Cool. See the flow, it's just staying out in the flow there. Wow. Staying very deep. Cool. Strange old fight. It's actually fighting like a barbel. Oh, for a minute, imagine it's a barbel, but oh! Well, that's annoying. And my gear's gone up the tree. Oh, that was a better fish as well. Well, that's annoying. And as I say, my gear's gone flying up the tree. The hook's still there, so let's see if we can get this out of here. We got a gear out the tree. That's very frustrating because that felt like a much better fish. It really was fighting like a barbel. Like I say, I don't for a minute think it was a barbel. Just staying very low. Well, I can't imagine I caught barbel on bread in 5.5 degree water, but yeah, just was right in here. I never saw it. The hook went in the tree. I could see the hook stuck in the tree, so at least we haven't left a hook in him. Well, that's possibly done the swimming, but you never know. But we can always move on if it has. I hadn't had a bite for probably 10 minutes anyway, so I was thinking about a bit of a move. But yeah, that's a bit frustrating. Felt like a decent fish, that did. At least the hook pulled, as I say. It's up there in the tree. Oh dear. Can't win them all. God blimey, it's the edge of the river. Careful with my step here. It sort of sticks out a bit and goes in. Again, that bite was in that slack over there. But like I say, we might have done it in. If he's gone back and scared all his mates. We'll see. There we go. Thought we had the bottom again then. Oi, bloody. Got my anti-reverse on. Yeah, see, this doesn't feel anything like as big as that one that we lost. Never mind, they're still there. Ooh. Be a bit more careful this time. God blimey. So one thing about coloured water is, you know, if you do lose a fish, often in clear water it can mean the end of the swim, but when it's coloured like this, I kind of can't see what's going on. Like I say, it doesn't feel anything like as heavy as that last one, this one, and it's charging about a lot more. Certainly when they're getting that flow, blimey. God, this one's all over the place. 1 minute he's out in the flow, next minute he's trying to get in the edge. Which he's almost succeeding in doing. Cool, nice fish. Went for the landing at that, I think I was a bit premature. Well, he's another nice one. Possibly even the biggest one of the day. Oh, he sort of appeared by my feet. God, that's a proper one. That's a proper one. See if we can sneak him in the landing net. There we go. Cool. That is a proper one. That's a real good one. And yeah, still didn't feel anything like that one I lost. Oh dear. Well, there he is. Absolute clonker. That's wonderful. That's a good 4. That's a good 4. Pushing 5, that is. Fantastic. Well, I thought that looked a decent fish. Just put the scales in him, 4.9. So yeah, very happy with that. That's absolutely fantastic. Oh, Still a shame we lost that other one, but hey ho, can't complain when you're catching fish like this. And a decent fish every sort of 10 minutes or so. Certainly can't complain. Wonderful. From a tiny little river like this as well. Fab. Right, we'll keep going, I think, till it dries up. It's a bit patchy. I do fancy, as I say, having to go down that bottom there. It's around that corner. No, nothing else doing. Right. What I'm going to do, I think, is have a move just the other side of this tree, just so we can fish the bottom of the stretch here. We'll give that perhaps maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Just run the float further along there. And then we'll go and try a different swim. Right, just had a quick pick. We'll get these fellas back. And we'll move on. Fab. So guys, with the light rapidly fading, I'm back in the swim we started. We know that, at least we know there's some fish here, or the fish certainly are liking it here. I can't imagine we caught them all earlier. Clearly that eddy over there is the place to fish. So we'll see if perhaps we can winkle another one or two out. Who knows? But I think it's probably our best bet, to be honest. Could go exploring, but that's our rain we've got. It's going so dark so fast because it's overcast. Perhaps 20 minutes left, something like that. Not really enough time to get another swim going, so I think that's our best bet. No, nothing doing here. I think I'm going to call it a day there. I can barely see this float anymore anyway. That's increasingly large bits of foliage and branches come down. I think time to knock it on the head. Bit of a gamble coming in here. Didn't pay off in the end. Which I'm not massively surprised at, but I think it was probably our best bet. But no, didn't do any good. But what a strange old session. Started off absolutely cracking. I did think we'd do okay in some of the other swims you've seen me fish. The one certainly down the main river, I gave it a good half an hour, 45 minutes down there. And it's usually good for a bite, but absolutely nothing. But it is coming up, as I say, and colouring up. Perhaps we caught it absolutely bang on, or perhaps it's just a little bit too coloured to be running the float through, and we caught those fish over there, perhaps because the float's going through a bit more slowly in that back eddy. But for whatever reason, we've not had any bites in any of the other swims, and just in that slack over there, and just on the edge of it, just on the crease. But it may be that perhaps it was just a little bit too coloured, and perhaps a little bit too cold to expect them to be chasing the bait around, and those fish were just sat in a little pod over there, and we managed to drop on them. I think that's probably the case. And with it colouring up and coming up now, it's certainly not done the rest of the swims any good at all. So I've not really found another little slack like that. Anyway, I'm waffling. Time to go home. Now I am going to try and get out in the next few days. We're forecasting sunny weather, but I think some of the tributaries of the Avon, they're a little bit flooded. They're going to be up and pretty coloured. So we might be able to get out over the next couple of days and perhaps get up one of those and try and do a bit of sort of floodwater fishing in the tiny little slacks, similar to that, but it'll be much more coloured. Perhaps get on the feeder, just those tiny little feeders I like to use. But we'll have to see exactly what happens, what the conditions are. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your wonderful support, and I'll see you all again very soon.